Join discord.gg/flatearth and enter a check-in room. Someone will come along and verify you to get involved in the conversation about our Earth.
Next person we have up here is LuuranCo. LuuranCo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so it looks
What
like
up?
you got VC verified. Welcome to the server. And also, what brought you here? Did you click a link? How did that go?
Yeah, I clicked through the YouTube channel.
Okay. What is your position on the topic of the server?
I'm a Glober.
Glober? No
Yeah.
freaking way. Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the last one in here. Okay. So, Glober.
It's pretty funny that he just went ahead and said that he's a Glober instead of what?
So, being that you are a Glober, Luran, now on a scale from 1 to 100, how certain are you that the Earth is a globe?
Quite certain. Can't really put a number on it, but
well, I would.
Quite certain, yeah.
1 to 100.
1 to 100. It would be somewhere like past 50% at least.
50%? Wow,
maybe
that's
70.
A lot of doubt. 70%. Okay, so you do kind of have your doubts, is that right? Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is the thing that makes you doubt that the Earth is a globe, Luran?
Well, there's a lot of discussion about it, so it's actually a good question of why are so many people talking about it if let's assume for the sake of the argument that it's a globe, but then why is there a discussion?
Okay, so I guess your evidence that there could be something wrong with the idea that the Earth is a globe is that many people are discussing the topic?
Yeah, like that might make one suspicious.
Okay. And what on the other side keeps you thinking that the Earth is a globe?
I guess there has been no good evidence from the other side. Like I've been in these discussions and I've been looking at some of the evidence, but I haven't. It's not been personally convincing to me.
Okay. All right. So on the side that you think the Earth is a globe, there hasn't been any convincing information to lead you to understand that the Earth definitely is not a globe. It's just maybe just ideas that people have that the Earth is flat. There's nothing really foundational or concrete. Okay. All right. Well, at least we know your position, and that way we can start engaging. Do you have any questions for the panel, Luran?
Not right now.
Okay, because we'll answer them directly if you have any. If not, we can ask you some questions.
Yep.
We got AI that's going to come in here. So, AI, do you have anything?
Well, it sounds like his thought process there was, if the globe was so proven, then there wouldn't be all this wiggle room for people to be discussing that it's not a globe, while simultaneously saying that there's no good evidence that the Earth is flat. So if that's the case, right, you're basically admitting that there's no conclusive proof the Earth's a globe. So if that's the case, and we all know we experience the Earth as flat and stationary, and that's what all sides agree to, why wouldn't we just accept that? As that's the way it appears to us.
I'm actually not sure that, does it appear as such? Yes. But do we experience it as such? Or do we experience that? Not necessarily, because it might appear like that to us, but then that's also consistent with the globe. So we might actually be experiencing the globe, if you get my drift.
Yeah, but it's only consistent with the globe with a story. It's not consistent with just basic experience. For example, right now I'm upright, right? And if I travel down where I'm heading, when I arrive there, I'll still be upright. That's my experience. In both locations, I experience myself as upright. However, in the globe story, I'll be at a diagonal to my previous position. However, I never feel that. I never experience that. It's not part of my daily life or even my thought process. I always navigate the earth as if I'm upright, and horizontal is a level plane and vertical is up and down. That's the way I operate. That's the way you operate. That's the way everyone operates. Notice how that is congruent with what we experience. The globe requires a story. The globe will tell you when you're over there, where you are, and I'm over here, we're actually at a diagonal angle to each other. But neither of us experience that at all.
We might actually experience. Well, it depends on how you define experience that, and I guess that's a weird way to put it.
Oh, it's very simple. It's very simple. Are you upright right now or laying down?
Upright, kind of. Sitting.
Well, right. So you just belied yourself, because what you should have said is, I'm diagonal to you. Right? But you didn't. And why? That's because you know intuitively that you're upright. This idea that you're tangential or diagonal or antipodal to other humans on the earth never crosses your mind as you go about your daily life.
Yeah,
You
sure.
operate as if the earth is a flat stationary plane, and we all do.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Like, phenomenologically speaking, the Earth is flat. I actually follow this icon carver from Canada, and he wrote this nice article about phenomenological truth. Like, that's the like truth from the perspective of human experience. So
right.
yeah,
So then we have to ask ourselves. Yeah, we have to ask ourselves if that's true, and like we already know that that's what all sides agree to, that is true. Then where does the globe start coming into play?
Yeah, I guess when you look at the evidence, maybe then, if there is sufficient evidence for the globe.
What evidence do you think that we have, Luuran?
Well, I guess both sides have evidence. Like, the flat Earth side has evidence.
The question, but Luuran, so when questions are asked in this forum, we usually ask them to get a direct answer, right? So the direct answer to what evidence do we have for the Earth being a globe?
Okay, well, that's a weird, like, I was giving a direct answer, but okay.
No, I think directly would be answering what would give you the evidence for the globe, not talking about flat Earth. I'm talking about straight about the globe only.
Well, I was just giving like a more long answer, but okay, fair enough. Like, if the answer has to be like 5 seconds long, then
no, it has to be direct, Luuran. Not 5 seconds direct. Not 5 seconds direct. Do you understand the difference between like a short answer and direct, or do you want me to explain?
Well, short answers mostly are direct as well, aren't they?
Well, they're not always synonymous, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, okay, so direct, please.
So the question is, what evidence do we have for the globe?
Correct.
Yeah, I guess, for example, let's say the star rotations. I don't think Flat Earth still has answered that good enough.
Okay, so what about star rotations give us the understanding that the ground that we walk on is curving at a set rate for drop over distance? Go ahead.
You should, based on the, if we're living on a globe, you would see stars rotate opposite directions in the poles.
Let me state this again so that it could get more clarity. The idea that we live on a geometric shape, which would have drop over distance, how is that in relation to the stars that you're looking at rotating above you?
I was trying to explain, so I'm not sure why you were interrupting me.
I just don't see the correlation, so you're going to have to tie in star rotations to the ground for me, please.
Okay, so let me do that then. If we're on a globe, you would see, very factually, you would see stars rotate counterclockwise on one pole and clockwise on the other pole. That is actually what we do see. So it kind of gives some credence to the idea that we do live on a flat Earth, a typical equidistant map.
No, I'm sorry. Stop. You didn't explain the correlation between the ground conforming to a sphere, an oblate spheroid.
I actually did explain it.
No,
so
no.
it's
Actually,
not
you
my
didn't.
problem
Actually,
if you don't want to accept my explanation. That's fine.
Laurent, stop.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
I was
You
talking.
need to
So
stop. No, you need to stop because you're not giving me the information. I need to understand what
I'm
star
giving you
rotation.
the
You're
information.
interrupting now, Laurent. Stop.
Hmm?
You're interrupting.
Yeah.
You need to
Fair
tell
enough.
me how the rotation of the stars are equivalent to giving us a geometric shape below our feet. So we need to know how the stars, right? Okay, now I can say it slowly so that you can tell me and figure this out. So if the stars are moving above us, right, in any particular fashion, clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't matter. How does that relate to us looking at the ground and understanding that there is a geometric shape that we are standing on? So you need to tie in, once again, I'm going to say this again, tie in the star rotations to the ground in that how do we know it's exactly that geometric shape with drop over distance?
Sure.
And hopefully you know what that means. So I
Sure.
can make it more clear.
My answer is I already tied it in. If you don't want to accept that, that's your problem because I did tie it in. So my
Laurent,
question to you is why is my answer not good enough?
Really?
My question.
Because it didn't give us the geometric shape. You basically made
It did. So why is my answer not good enough?
It's a fallacy. It's called affirming the consequence.
Hold on.
Because
no, it's not.
Tell you?
And you're now evading my question. Direct answers.
It's affirming.
Why is my answer not good enough?
Because it's affirming the consequence. It's a formal logical fallacy.
That's a lie. Lying is against the rules of the server. You're lying.
Lying is against
It's not affirming the consequence.
It's affirming the consequence. That's what it is, Laurent.
It's not.
Hold on. I'm going to arbitrate this. The classical form of affirming the consequent is if such and so exists, then thus and though would exist. Thus and though exists, therefore such and so exists. That's exactly the form in which you said, except for the last sentence, you didn't say therefore, you said it gives credence to. So
you accept that it wasn't. Yes.
Right. Because you didn't use the word therefore, right, you didn't make a statement as if that logic led to that necessary conclusion, because then it would be officially a fallacy. However, coming short of a fallacy, right, as saying this is my evidence, isn't very good evidence, is it? All right, I yield the floor.
Sure. It does debunk the flat Earth model, though.
No, it doesn't.
So
it still stands.
Yes, it does.
Stands.
No, absolutely does.
Laurent, you can keep saying that over and over and convincing yourself, but in reality, you're saying that because of the stars moving in a particular manner in the sky, then the ground needs to be this what you have in your mind, what it is. It could be anything else, right? So if you're so what? You're just gonna rumpus me now? You're just gonna say whatever you want? So basically, the stars moving in the manner that they do. Now you're looking at the ground and saying, okay, so now that is a shape because I see stars moving above us. I don't understand how we attribute stars above us to a geometric shape because it could be any geometric shape. You just think about any geometric shape you want. It doesn't have to be a sphere.
It cannot be a flat plane.
Yeah, let's
and there's a
hold on for a
very
second.
simple logic to it why it can't.
No, that's false. That's false.
It's not false. It's actually true.
No, hold on, friend. You haven't. My goodness, dude. Is it painful for you to hold your tongue? Is it
I am holding my tongue. It's not painful.
Be
So
flapping
go ahead.
to cool itself off. All right, perfect. So you are making a lot of assumptions in the model and saying that it doesn't work on the flat Earth model, but you're assuming the stars are a particular thing and located in a particular relationship in free space relative to the Earth and what the Earth is. You have a lot of assumptions on the table that you aren't speaking openly about, and you're mixing the models. For example, if the Earth was flat, there's no necessity that the stars must be objects in free space rotating around the Earth. They could be an optical phenomenon. And we know of a certainty that optical phenomenon can cause objects to appear to counter-rotate and all kinds of things. So it's not simply the case that you just claim it doesn't work on flat Earth. With all of your assumptions, it may not work on flat Earth, but you need to parse those assumptions out. All right, I yield the floor.
Could I jump in when there's a chance?
Go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick though, I just want to make sure that he understands that when we come to this, we're going to have to still define the geometric shape. Which I got some questions for him, but um, I don't mind yielding the floor to this point because we still have a lot of work to do here. Go ahead, Wolfgang.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say to Luran, I get the point that you're trying to make, but at the end of the day, what you're doing for your evidence is observing the stars move, like Miggy's saying, and then you're making an assumption about what that means about the ground. Do you understand that there's a leap of logic between observing what's in the sky and making a claim about what's therefore beneath your feet? Would you agree with that?
To some degree, yes. Which is kind of why it's sort of easier to debunk flat Earth using the southern stars than it is to prove a globe, because science doesn't prove things. Science only disproves things. So that's why it's easier to debunk flat Earth than to actually prove the globe.
So, but it would mean that you're not debunking the flat Earth if you're having to make an assumption about what the ground is beneath your feet. But okay, we can take your point that in your mind gives you credence or gives you an assumption about what the ground is, but you would then have to go and verify that assumption by examining the actual ground beneath your feet, would you not?
Would I?
Yeah, like, so if you're looking at the stars and they move in a certain way, and then you say, okay, that makes me think that the ground has curvature and motion. But you would then have to go and examine the surface and prove that that surface has curvature and motion, would you not?
Would I actually? What are you basing that claim on?
Well, otherwise you would just be saying that your proof for the ground being in motion and curved isn't any measurement or detection of curvature or motion, but an assumption based on what you perceive the stars are doing. So that's not actually proof of what the ground is doing. It's only an assumption. To have the proof of what the ground is doing, you would then have to go to the ground and say, right, now I'm going to measure it to see if my assumption based on the stars is true. Right?
Sure.
Because remember, you've already agreed that we don't experience it to be curved and in motion. We only experience it to be flat and motionless. But you are saying, okay, but I'm looking at the stars and they're moving in a certain way, so I'm going to assume that the Earth's ground is not what it appears to be. But you would then still have to go and say, right, look, I'm going to prove to you that it's not what it appears to be by measuring the surface, seeing if it curves, seeing if it's in motion. Sure. Right? Would you agree?
Sure.
Okay, so on your life's journey, what evidence has been presented to you that speaks to the ground specifically in terms of determining curvature or the motion?
This is going to be a lot of points that you've already heard, so excuse me. Like ships going below the horizon, sunsets, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. So we see objects appearing to descend into the horizon.
Yes.
And that's another thing that would make you think, okay, that must mean it's curved.
Yes.
But what if we could show you that through an optical effect, objects can appear to sink into a horizon without going over a curve?
That would be interesting. I don't think that during the past 5 years that I've been in this discussion, flat earthers have been able to do so.
Well, we haven't even talked about demonstrations, so we haven't gotten even there yet.
Well, I have seen, because I've been in this discussion for 5 years, so I kind of already know.
Not in this server, not in this server, though.
Yeah, sure. Totally, it's plausible that you might have something, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a phenomenon that's demonstrable that you can do yourself, right? If you go into well, you know how perspective works. If you're in a corridor, like in a hotel, and it's really long, you start to see the walls converge towards the end and the ceiling and the ground ramping up towards each other.
Yep.
Right? So by that function of perspective, if you put your head low to the ground and someone walks away from you, you'll start to see their feet disappearing bottom up. And I don't know if anyone's posting the GIFs in the text channel. Can you see the live stream voice text? The text channel.
I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure actually that what you just said was accurate, because it doesn't necessarily follow from like the floor and the ceiling going towards each other that the angles would start disappearing. It doesn't follow.
Hang on, guys. Wolfgang, I'm just gonna say this. His bias is still up, brother. So if he goes in through any points for flat Earth, he's gonna reject them like he just did. Even on the before you even began for him to see the images, his bias is too strong. So I think he needs to understand that it's a belief before we engage with that. At least that way he understands he's moving off of a belief and nothing more. So I know that you want to walk
actually
into the
logic.
point.
Actually, no logic in the case that I'm going with, because I was basing my argument towards what he was saying on logic, because it doesn't follow. It doesn't follow. It's a logical criticism.
Friend. Okay, logic has nothing to do with it. You need to establish your premises first and put them in a logical string before you can talk about whether it's logical or illogical. So let's talk about it. Okay? Ideal perspective, right? That only exists in an idea. That's why it's called ideal. In reality, you see everything through an optical device, whether it be your eye or a camera. And optics have a limited amount of reception angles relative to propagation angles of entry of light into them. And they have a limited sensor size. And the wavelengths of light interfere with each other. This is known as the diffraction limit, also known as the Rayleigh criterion, and other such things. All of these things, right, are a confluence of factors that cause you to lose visual information that's resolvable as angles approach 0 degrees towards your limit of resolution. Now, this is not pixel density resolution. This is angular resolution, a very different animal, and it has a formula. Now, if you understand the law of triangles, you understand that as one leg of the triangle changes, the angle, the acute angle, right, changes, right? So as things get further away or vary in your field of view on the y-axis, you're going to have smaller and smaller angles of reception. Now, couple that with the loss of information from the angular resolution limit, and as things approach 0 degrees, which, by the way, they would do as they recede into the distance relative to your horizon, because that's, the smallest angle they're going to occupy relative to you, you will begin to lose information. Now, the interesting thing about the diffraction limit is that it's not linear. It's linear to a degree, relatively, and then as it approaches 0, it starts to take off hyperbolically. Now, you could validate this by simply going and watching lectures about optics from MIT. It's all free, right? So it is true, 100%, that by the sheer function of the physics of how optics work alone, as an object recedes away in your view and approaches degrees, it will disappear from the bottom up, because that is the area that has the lowest angles. And that is just the facts.
You mentioned MIT lectures. Would you mind sharing a link to that?
Yeah, sure. I will when I have an opportunity. Yeah. But basically, it's just so the best one. So Walter Lewin was one of the professors that did a lot of these things, and his lectures are easily available and completely free, by the way. But the moral of the story I was getting with there is that it's established. It's established physics of light, the way optics work. You can look up the math. You could see the formulas. You could draw the triangles out yourself, and you will see that as they approach 0 degrees in your field of view, the acute angle will fall below the reception angle available to you based upon your angular resolution limit, resulting in a necessary loss of visual information. There's no way around it. That is an absolute brute fact of having an angular field of view. There is no other way possible.
Somebody posted it for you, AI, in the live stream voice text.
Thank you. If you can,
Walter Lewin.
if you have any knowledge of like where, for example, Walter Lewin speaks about this angle stuff,
well, he's got a lot of information, but there's a link provided for you there in the live stream voice text. If you have,
I see it. Yes,
time for that. You don't really have to dive into it now, but keep in mind what AI said. So.
Yeah. Also, you don't. I mean, to be fair, if you understand the law of triangles, right? You know, squared, b squared, c squared, sine, cosine, tangent, angles that they add up, right? All of these things. You understand that. Then you also understand that the wavelengths of light interfere with each other as they get crammed into a smaller space. It makes sense. It's obvious that the smaller amount of space you have, the less you're going to see. I don't know why you would need to watch a lecture to understand that.
Here is why. I don't think it necessarily follows from the fact that there is a smaller angle at the lower end of your like visual field. Yes, there are smaller angles there. Does that necessarily lead it into, well, now the ground is competing with the object and it will have to look like that thing is actually hidden behind something?
No,
I don't think
it's not like that.
I don't think that.
It's like this. When the light enters the plane or the surface, let's call it, of the optic or the aperture, right? Usually, what things with an angular field of view receive the information in the reflex angle, right? So there's a limited amount of angles, right? They cross the focal axis or whatever, right? And then they spread out again on the other side and they hit the sensor. Now, when you do out the math, those angles are just pure numbers. But the problem is that you're dealing with actual light, right? Which has its wavelength measurements. And there's formulas that you could do to see the interference. And each wavelength has different interference or diffraction limits, right? So the point is that it's not just dealing with the law of triangles in those angles alone. It's dealing with how light functions in those limited angles. So for example, right, a triangle if you extend it into free space indefinitely, gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? The acute angle stays, is small, but if you extend the leg of the triangle out, the end of the triangle gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, if all the light entering the optic is within that angle, it will not be resolved if it drops below your angular resolution limit. Now, the problem is that the far leg of the triangle, right, opposite of the acute angle, it could be taking up the space of 1 inch, of 2 feet, of 10 feet, of 100 feet. So when you're looking out, there's a portion of your vision in the distance that could literally be an entire skyscraper. But you will not be able to tell. It will just look to you like the same color as the ambient surroundings because you have no differential ability to resolve anything. And that does occur, according to the law of triangles, the closer you get to 0 degrees. I mean, that's just obvious. Now, you might say, well, if that's the case, isn't all objects just made up of a bunch of small degrees? That's true. But when you're rendering the object, the very, very bottom of the object is going to represent the smallest angle. But from the bottom to the top is going to represent a different angle. So you'll have visual information from the higher parts because there's wider angles available. Now, you could doubt that, and you could be unresolved about it in your mind, but that is the facts. If you draw it out, you will see that that's the case.
You actually bring up an interesting point because you said that we can kind of divide the object into like as many small angles as we would possibly like. In some ways, that brings up an interesting way to criticize the typical flat Earth way of explaining this, where you draw a line to the object, which is like tangential to the ground. And then you get the like lower angles, but that is arbitrary, isn't it? Because we see the totality of the object. Our vision doesn't cut it in half into top part and bottom part. It just sees the object in its totality.
No, it only sees the light information that it's able to resolve. That's all it sees.
Yes. but it will try to
the
resolve
more-
the whole object. There is no differentiation when our eye sees an
No,
object.
that's not
It
true.
doesn't
That's not
do,
true.
oh, there's the bottom part and there's the top.
No,
it
it's not
just sees
about.
the object.
Yes, it's not about the bottom and the top. It's about the angles of propagation. So, for example, if something was directly in front of you, let's just call it 0 degrees. Nothing can see at 0 degrees, right? That's obvious. You must have a greater than 0 in order to resolve anything. If all the light information is coming in the exact same area, then the sensor will be flooded with information. There'll be no differentiation, so you'd see nothing whatsoever. You'd see one solid color. But that's not the way we see. We see in angles. And the angles of that light aren't traveling in a perfect ray from the point on the object straight to your eye. They at least, let's just say one portion of the light is doing that, but it's also spreading out into other sensor areas. And the predominant color that hits that sensor is going to be what it resolves. However, if the angles of propagation and the angles of reception simultaneously fall below your angular resolution limit, all information from that portion of the object will be lost. In other words, if you have only 4 pixels in your camera, it's impossible to take a photo of 8 pixels because you only have 4 to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily. We don't need to go into the details too much of this. I mean, you've said you want the information, you want to have a look and check it out for yourself. You're welcome to do that. It is a well-documented phenomena, and the reason I suggest it to you as a potential alternative is because obviously, if an alternative exists, that means that your one claim of what it has to be isn't necessarily the case. But we can come at it from different angles, right? How we got to this was because you said, well, objects appear to be sinking bottom up boats. That tells me that the surface is curved. But it's not as simple as that, because then we would have to say, okay, what was your observer height when you were watching the boat? And how far away was the boat to see if it conforms with the stated geometry of the globe? Simply observing a ship appear to disappear bottom up isn't confirming that it's disappearing bottom up at the point that the globe model predicts. So there's that next step to take as well. But before we get on to that, could you tell me what what you're saying the horizon is the point of a ball that you can no longer see beyond, right? Because it's curving. Is that right? You still there?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So you're saying right. So that means that if we know our observer height, then we can calculate how far away that curve of the ball, that horizon, should be, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so do you know how far away the horizon should be if you're, say, 6 foot above the surface? 6 foot observer height.
I don't know any of those figures by heart, no.
Okay, so if you go into Google, do you have access to Google?
Sure, yes.
And you type in distance to horizon calculator, and just click whichever one comes up at the top. And then you put in your observer height at 6 foot, so you're standing on the beach. Can you do that? Tell us what it says for how far away the horizon should be.
Sure.
Just let us know when you've got a number. Kilometers or miles, whatever you like.
For 6 feet, it says 3 miles.
3 miles.
That actually sounds kind of familiar.
Okay, so when you go to the beach, you think that horizon generally is about 3 miles?
I actually think in kilometers. I don't use miles, so I can't exactly tell.
say 5
I get
kilometers.
better at these conversions because I'm actually training to be a translator, and it would be really goddamn helpful to be able to just do these conversions in my head.
Okay, well, I think it would be about 5 miles or so. I mean, you can check the converter, but 3 miles would be about, say 5 kilometers, 4.5. So, okay, you think that lines up with what you've observed when you've gone to the beach or whatever?
I don't have a beach like that available much of the
Okay, but
time.
let's just say generally, the horizon, if you're only 6 foot above the water, you agree that it's around 3 miles, 4 kilometers, 5
Yeah,
kilometers.
I'd say it's in the ballpark. Yeah.
Okay, so can you look at the live stream voice text channel?
Sure.
Is it this one? Okay. So what we've got here is a couple of oil rigs that are a set distance away. You can see platform C is 6 miles away and platform habitat is 10 miles away. Where do you see the horizon in that image? Is it in front of them or behind them?
Seems to be behind them.
Okay. And so this is an 8-foot observer height, and that's a 3.4 mile horizon. So why is it that when we check the globe calculators and then we go and check in reality, they're not matching?
That would be because of refraction, right?
What do you mean?
Refraction?
Yeah, what do you mean as that relates to the horizon being beyond the rigs?
Like, doesn't refraction change how things appear?
So refraction gets rid of the Earth's curve?
No, it just makes it appear different, like refraction does.
Like it's not there, because if it was there, the horizon's supposed to be at 3.4 miles, which is in front of those rigs. Right?
Yeah, like refraction can change how things appear. Did you not know this?
So it can move a geometric horizon on a sphere behind something that it's actually supposed to be blocking?
It can move where it appears to be, yes.
But surely it would still have the rigs behind it, because it's physically in front of them. Right? So how is the light? How is the light from the rigs traveling faster than the light of the horizon that's supposed to be geometric and reaching the observer before?
What is the geometric horizon exactly? In your opinion?
That's what you were saying. Well, that's what you were saying. The boats were going over. Remember?
So how would you define the geometric horizon?
Well, it's basically what you said, right? It's the part of the ball that you can't see beyond because it's curved.
Yes.
So things are going
down
right?
It's the place that we can't see behind. Now, if refraction exists, it would hold on. If refraction exists, it would naturally change how we see things. So it could actually move the horizon. So technically speaking, I'm not sure if it's even geometric to begin with, because the definition is like it has to do with vision, a point we can no longer see behind. And of course, refraction will change how things look.
Wait. So now you're saying the horizon isn't physical.
It's physical, but obviously it's physical. But the appearance of physical things, the appearance of physical things will be changed by refraction.
Dude, it's not obvious. You already just conceded, and our friend just noticed that you said you have.
I concede.
You said you have no certainty that it's physical.
I didn't.
Described entirely by optical phenomena.
Geometric and physical, they are different words.
Hold on,
and because they are different words, I'm a translator, I'm a linguist. You cannot pull that kind of word game with me and try to say I said something I didn't say. Don't lie about my words, sir.
No,
when I say geometric, I mean geometric, and when I say physical, I mean physical. I don't mean the same thing with those words.
Okay, bro.
So don't try to
geometry. Dude, we can always play back what you said. It doesn't really matter. The point is...
Yes, and you will say that I was right.
It doesn't matter.
Right. Okay.
Biggie.
Hey, Wolfgang, you know, I mean,
in some ways it doesn't matter, but like words like these are important. You can
Yes,
just
it's
like
great.
slide
It's
off the
great.
stage
But here's
and
the problem.
saying
Here's the
something that
problem,
the other person didn't say.
Fine, who cares? Move on. Here's the point. In the globe model, the geometric horizon is a physical location on the object known as the globe. So in the model, they're synonymous.
Sure. So what is your point?
The point is that you just described an optical phenomenon, which is all we know. And our friend here, Wolfgang, proved to you that it's not a physical location or a geometric location, that it's necessarily optical by categorical necessity.
Actually, yes, I'm gonna have to change my game since let's be fair here. Since we're talking about the geometric horizon, that's defined purely geometrically, no refraction included. So yes, the geometric horizon would actually be, like roughly speaking, 3 miles from the observer. Now, what Wolfgang showed, he didn't show me the geometric horizon. He showed me something else, because geometric horizon doesn't take into account refraction. It doesn't take into account that we live on an atmosphere. So
how would I show
what Wolfgang showed me had nothing to do with the geometric horizon. So you cannot expect me to throw that into the garbage bin because it had nothing to do with the geometric horizon.
Yeah. So when do we see the geometric horizon? That's the question.
The geometric horizon is a theoretical construct. You don't see it. We see in real world.
Okay. So when you said before that the horizon is the bit that the boats are going beyond and the sun's going behind, when it was physical, you're saying that's only theoretical now?
No. Well,
that's what you said.
I think you have a problem parsing this. Like,
maybe.
Hold on. You know that physical reality exists, right?
Wolfgang's got a problem.
I do.
Yes, and I do have a problem as well. Do you guys know that physical? Okay. Hold on, I'm asking a question. Do you guys know that physical reality exists? And I'm leading with something with this. Yeah.
I'll agree.
Can the physical reality be described by geometry? Let's say your table. Can you describe it's this wide and this tall?
Yeah, you can describe it with geometry.
Yeah. Okay. Can then, when I look at the table from far away, can the table be like distorted by refraction effects? You would have to say right. Yes.
Yeah,
you would have to say yes, right?
Yeah, but you have to define.
When I'm looking at my table from far away and the table doesn't look like it should look, does it mean that the table no longer is physical and geometric?
Shut up, dude. All right, so basically you're saying refraction, as in you haven't even defined what it is because you're using it in the wrong context right now. So you can't just keep going and bulldozing through the conversation because you want to make a point. You're using refraction in the wrong context. You know what refraction is? I'm going to unmute you and I'll let you explain what refraction is.
Well, before you unmute him, we have to address a problem analogy. In his analogy, he chose an object that's not. Dimensions are tangibly verifiable, a table. I know that I can take my table and I can access it directly and I can measure it. I have a tape measure on the side of my hip right now. I also have a triangle on the side of my hip, which is actually called a square because it's at a right angle. Use these tools and I can directly measure the table and understand its dimensional state. No such thing exists for this alleged Earth that he's then going to claim refraction, which we then need to hear what he means by that when he's unmuted.
Yeah. Do you want to answer your question? Go ahead, Wolfgang.
Sorry, well, I was just going to say, this is the part where I get him to start saying that tables are all refracted and he can't really know what a table is.
Yeah. So there's we got a couple of things here. So I'll go to AI's point first. And then I'll go to yours, Wolfgang. Then I'll go to mine. So
that's all right. No, you can go. I think he's I'll go.
Okay, I'll go to AI. Answer AI, Laurent, when I unmute you, please.
Sure. Can you rephrase the question, because I forgot what the question was.
It's not a question. You are using a table that we know the dimensions of, and that we've tangibly verified that it's a table, then being distorted by optical effects. And we can then understand the distortion because we know the table in the first instance by tangibly accessing it and measuring it directly. Now,
Sure.
what I am telling you, that no such parallel exists for the Earth, from which you then make claims how it should not look or should not be distorted.
Sure. That doesn't still detract from my point that refraction existing doesn't debunk anything about geometry.
All right. Can I go to my point? Do you want to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come back with. Oh, I'm waiting for AI. Did you want to come back to that, or? Yeah.
It removes. I'll tell you what bunks it. It removes instantiation that any claims about the horizon are geometric in the first instance, and puts it back into the category of optical phenomenon, which we already know.
If you want to go there, sure.
No. Did you respond, Lauren?
Yeah, my response is simply, if you want to go there, sure. We can go to the other evidence at some point.
Dude, dude. What you would need is direct measurements of the Earth's
Yes, and we have those.
But who measured the horizon?
Oh, wait a minute. We have those? Okay, yeah. I could just go to my 3 questions then. I was going to wait later, but
go for it. Now's the perfect time.
Yeah, now's the perfect time. Exactly. I was waiting for a segue anyway. All right, so I'm going to ask you 3 questions, Lauren, because right now you're 70% sure that the Earth is a globe, but we're going to figure out, because you've been defending it right now pretty violently. All right, so first question to you, and you can answer directly because that's all we need. If you know, say you know and go into detail. If you don't know, just say, I don't know. And now go to the next question. No harm, no foul. Just your baseline knowledge of what you know about the Earth being a globe. First question. Who has directly measured the curvature of the Earth any time in history as drop over distance? So can you please provide that if you know?
Who has measured the curvature of the Earth?
Directly. As in drop over distance.
Drop over distance.
Yes. Do you know? You don't have to know. It's just a baseline knowledge. You can say somebody figured it out and you don't know.
I don't know. For example, Eratosthenes did some stuff, but that's not exactly what you are asking.
Correct. You can say you don't know, and I'll go to the next question. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the next question is the Earth spinning on its axis. They tell us that the Earth is spinning on its axis at about 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. Now, I need you to tell me, what is the naturally observed phenomenon of the Earth spinning on its axis? Do you know anybody that's actually directly measured the axial rotation by, going out in nature and directly seeing in nature the Earth spinning on its axis?
Yes, for example, Bob Nodal.
Say again. What was that?
Bob Nodal. Rest in peace.
Bob Nodal?
Yes.
Okay, can you explain me the method by which he directly measured the rotation of the Earth? As in, I said out in nature. So I'm looking for the naturally observed phenomena of Earth spin. So the Earth spinning around, what did he naturally observe in nature that the Earth is spinning on its axis?
What do you mean by nature? What is your philosophy behind that question?
So the philosophy is basically understanding, if we're saying that the Earth is spinning on its axis, how can I then disprove or prove that it's doing so with a naturally observed phenomena? So if the Earth is doing something, let's say, right? The Earth is doing something. So I need to know if it's doing something by naturally observing it in nature. Because if the Earth is doing something, it's naturally doing something. I need to observe this. So where has anybody observed the Earth naturally spinning on its axis?
Yeah. I think Bob Nodal works because if the Earth is rotating on its axis, that would cause the devices like the one that he used to actually like show a constant rotation of 15 degrees per hour drift, and they do that. So that's what he observed.
All right, so I'm going to ask for a few things here, right? So I need primary source, a citation, and then also a demonstration. So the primary source you said is Bob Nodell, right? We're covering some bases. All right, now I need a citation as to what he did. Pull that from anywhere on the internet and then provide it for us in live stream voice text. The citation.
Can I actually ask? This might be a strange question, but can I ask why?
Yes, we're gonna the question why I need all of this is to validate the information, because we're gonna go through a process here, which means that in order for this to be put into the physical natural world, we're gonna have to validate this information. So what you're gonna give me is the validation of said method in the form of primary source, citation, and then followed by a demonstration of what was done and then explanation of how it was done. So I need all of these things to validate. But once again, like the first question, if it's something you think somebody just figured out, you don't have to know this. You can just clearly say, somebody figured it out, maybe a scientist or something. I don't know. And then we can go to the next question. If not, it's going to be more strict as to like what you have to provide. Like right now, I still need the citation, because you said Bob Nodell will be the primary source. Then I'm going to need the citation of where, it says it anywhere. And then the method by which he demonstrated that in full detail, so we can all understand, and perhaps somebody else can follow up and do the same method.
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking, why are you asking me for this? Because it's sort of weird that because I'm pretty sure that you know who Bob Nodell is, and you know what 15 degrees per hour I'm talking about, and you know what they did. So it's kind of baffling to me that you're asking me for citations for the thing that you already know about.
There's a lot of, so we're actually catering to a larger audience than just me and you having a conversation. We have about 18 people watching on Rumble and about 24 people watching on YouTube live stream. So those people don't know what you and I know. So what you're doing is demonstrating to them, because it's a larger audience, right? So you're demonstrating to them your capacity to bring forth the evidence. That's why.
Could I just also very quickly add, while Luran is finding that information to present, do you not think it's odd that when we're asking for evidence as to who proved the globe, the first person you name is a flat earther?
Yeah, that's very
that's simply because in the scientific community, the globe has been taken as a given for like millennia now. So it's no longer a pressing question for the scientific community.
That's why. So are you saying? That's why I didn't want to divert. I didn't want to, because like he's gonna wind up going on a tangent. I really want him to focus.
I need to hear him say. So are you saying that the first person who's actually proven the globe is a flat earther?
That's kind of not what I was saying, because I think I was quite clear in what I said. It hasn't
been taken as a given by science.
That means it was solved long time ago. So you can twist "it was solved long time ago" into "no one else ever done it." That's dishonest, sir, and I resent it.
Then if it's been done before, why can't you tell us by who and what method?
Well, that's
I mean, I'm just making a general point.
Yeah. I want him, if he's gonna say that, I don't care who he says. Right at this point, it could be Donald Duck that provides the evidence. I don't care, so long as he has primary source, citation, demonstration. That's all I care about, and we can reproduce the method. So we're right now. So we just gotta let him provide this, and if he cannot do so, he can say I don't know, and I'll go to the next question. So these things aren't meant to kind of linger. It's just meant to, like, if he knows, to state it. If not, we move on. That's all this is for. It's not a back and forth. It's just really his baseline knowledge. That's all this is.
I get that.
That's it. So, Luran, back to the point. So you said Bob Nodell, primary source, citation. We're still waiting for that. Can you produce the information? Citation?
What are the options? Either I provide the citation and all of the things that you asked, or I'm supposed to say no, I don't know.
So, exactly. You don't know. Yeah, you don't know would mean that you don't have the sufficient evidence currently to support the claim. And that's fine. If you think, just like you stated when you were talking to Wolfgang, that it's already a foregone conclusion that somebody figured it out, I'm good with that, so long as you say you don't know, somebody else figured it out. Right? It's just my.
I don't think it's I don't think it's honest to say I don't know when I do in fact know. So
But
I'm
then you
not gonna have to be.
So,
I'm not going to be able to hold on to those.
Laurent, I know that. So if you do know, please provide the evidence.
Why though?
Because if you did know, you would have that evidence at hand. Because otherwise, you wouldn't claim it.
Right.
But you guys don't have the similar evidence for your games either, so I think we're in the same boat, right?
Stop talking. That would be ridiculous.
Stop talking. Why? Why should I stop talking?
Because I'm talking now. Listen, that would be ridiculous to make a claim, and then when asked to back the claim with what information, you don't have anything. That's vacuous.
I have things, but you've crafted this interesting game where anything I provide is going to be thrown out. So it's a game that you guys play. It's not that I don't have evidence. It's that you've crafted a very nifty game where you can dismiss all the.
Listen, check this out.
It's a good thing, but it's just a game, and you have to admit that.
If I have to say, check this out one more time, because I'm not going to raise my voice. So Bob Nodell is a friend of the server, and he's come in here, and we know for a fact that the data does not match what you're saying. That's why we're pressing you, because we know you can't produce it. That's just the truth.
Can you actually then produce it? Because I would be interested in seeing it.
What do you want? Do you want to listen to the entire the show that he came in while I go look for that? You want to hear? Like what do you want?
Burden of proof reversal. That's a burden of proof reversal.
No. Like this is just a normal conversation. If he brings up a point, I'm allowed to ask a question.
We're not going to go on a tangent, Laurent. Right? We're not going to go on a tangent.
God.
It's just to get to the
obviously, because it's the Glober has to prove his point. Others, they don't have to prove shit.
You can look at it in your own time. You can look at
Elijah can make sense. He don't have.
Yeah, I just told you you're not going to talk over anybody in here. That doesn't sound nice. You see how controlled and reasonable it sounds right now? Because I'm the only one that's talking. Well, again, if you can't provide any information, can you provide the method? What specifically was done? In your own, like, what can you give us?
Yeah, I think they used a ring laser gyroscope, measured a 15 degree per hour drift, and they actually said that if it's a globe, we should see a 15 degree per hour drift. That's what they saw, and then they went, well, see, because we have agreed, because based on our religious beliefs that it cannot be a globe, we have to negate this some way and have to come with excuses in order to not accept the result that our experiment gave us.
Thank you for that information, Laurent. But you didn't, provide. Yeah, you still. I'm not going to let you go.
That's so nice, maybe.
Laurent, I'm still not going to let you go out of providing the citation and then the demonstration of exactly how it was done without your explanation. The citation will cover. The citation will cover the explanation on a written form or some sort of information we can all look at, so we can show everybody that you know. And then we can talk about the detailed method, not just what you've seen on Behind the Curve on Netflix. I don't care about that. I care about the exact method so someone else can replicate it. So citation is still needed. So if that's not provided, then you can easily say you don't know. At least be humble enough to say that, Laurent.
Yeah,
if you don't know.
I think he already said, right?
Actually, I'm being humble by not saying I don't know, because I don't have to.
No, he didn't say it, so he doesn't want to concede.
He said to Elijah, "Could you send me the data?" Meaning he hasn't seen the data, right? You've not seen the actual data of the experiment or whatever it was, Laurent, right?
So that's a concession that you don't know and you don't have the information. So just say that with your mouth so we can move on. For goodness'
sake. I do know what Pop Noodle did, and I do know that they.
No, you've not seen the data.
All right, everybody stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop right freaking now. You don't know what Bob Nodell did. You understand me?
No, I do know what he did. Do I know the specifics? No, I do know what he did, not the specifics, but I know the rough outlines, and that's good enough.
You just made a claim that you know what he did. Because if you don't, we're just going to have to mute you, and it's going to get tedious for everyone, dude. For goodness sakes. You made a claim that you know what Bob Nodell did. It's now time for you to man up and back your claim by stating plainly what he did. Please do so. Keep in mind, we know Bob Nodell. Keep in mind, we have a recording of him speaking.
Yes, I can keep.
Dude, how hard is it to keep your mouth shut? So I'm going to finish this sentence. Keep in mind that we have a recording from Bob Nodell himself of what he did. So now that you know that we have that information, it's your turn to back your claim that you know what he did. So let us know.
So he used the ring laser gyroscope. I actually went through this earlier, so I'm not actually sure why I would have to like describe it all over again. Did I not already do this? Yes, I did. So why am I?
So your claim is that Bob himself
You're being
used
absurd.
a ring laser gyro. Oh my goodness! Your claim is that Bob himself used a ring laser gyro and did what?
They measured. They got as a result a 15 degree per hour drift.
I thought you said Bob. I thought you said Bob. You change it to they. I'm confused.
Bob Nodell and his team.
Okay, that's your claim?
A 15 degree per hour drift. Are you contending this? Are you contending this AI?
Is that your
this
claim?
A point in contention?
I asked you a question first, sucker. Is that your claim? That's what Bob Nodell did?
So you contend my claim then?
Holy fuck, dude. You didn't even back your claim by admitting it's your claim. I mean, how did indecisive...
Provide evidence for your claim, AI.
Sure of yourself,
provide evidence for your claim, AI.
Okay, I will. So here's what we're going to do. What do you mean TikTok, dude? What do you think? I'm a time traveler? Actually, I am a time traveler, but that's irrelevant.
He's got you on the clock.
Okay, fine. So, like I said, we could just play the recording from Bob himself. And then you could present your counter evidence, which will be a cut-up, edited documentary. Right?
Yeah.
So I will explain it to you. I will explain it to you, and you can go watch it at your leisure. Bob didn't do that. Bob's gyro. He was just a bystander. And he only made a comment that's interesting. Okay? That's what happened, and that's what you saw in the documentary. Now, Bob goes on to explain that the documentary was edited. It was originally going to be, relatively to Flat Earth, but the producer decided, because he got upset that they were talking to Flat Earth to kids, that he would make it essentially slanderous to Flat Earth. Now, the problem is that, let's just say, for lack of a better term, that they did show a 15-degree measurement or out on the device. That's fine. Problem is that by further tests, I have to cancel this call. Holy crap. One second, friends. No, I'm good. As long as you can hear me.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
So, Bob will further tests. And by the way, other agencies have done these tests as well, and they've got different results. So, if you understand the way the Earth is claimed to rotate, and you understand that rotation is equal along a radial spoke, for example, the hands of a clock, the closer they are or the further they are from the center of the clock, they all rotate at the same degrees per hour. It would always be congruent degrees per hour. However, on to explain in the recording that we're going to post for you to watch at your leisure, that he went to different locations and got different degree readings. Now, Bob himself, whether I agree with it or not is irrelevant, has an idea that the rotation being measured is an energy field. And according to his idea, that energy field would have a vortexual rate. So as you get closer or further from the epicenter, it would have a different rate of rotation. Now, that is congruent with what the readings he got. He got different degrees per hour at different altitudes. Now, that is not congruent with a globe, which its rotation would be a radial spoke. So there's more to the story. You had no idea of any of this. You proved you had no idea of any of this. asked Elijah for the information. So the correct answer is you don't know. And you need to be honest and just say you don't. All right, I yield the floor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
So
all right, Laurent.
Yes.
It was explained. It was explained to you the correct way, which you didn't have that information. So why don't you just admit now that you didn't know?
Yes, I didn't know. Now I do know, and it still backs the globe up because actually you would see varying degrees of rotation on the globe as well. I did know that Popenoodle tried to post the fact, post measurement, try to justify, oh, it's some ether model. Let's make up some bullshit. I know all of that. I didn't know all of the exact details, but I know that.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't, it still backs up the globe. So I think it's very enough for me.
You're still missing the point though, because now that you know all of that, right? That information that was told to you, you have a tougher task ahead of you. The tougher task is that now the demonstration ensues, and you, my friend, are going to have to demonstrate, because you know what? You didn't even know that information that AI told you, which now it's going to get ugly. You're not going to know the demonstration at all, per in detail, to demonstrate to all of us that you're cognitive of that information. So if you don't know, then you're going to have to concede that you don't know, and I can move off to the next point. If not, we're going to hear you spiral, and you're going to struggle with the demonstration portion of it. So now it's now for you to demonstrate to all of us how you exactly know what was being said to you in the form of a demonstration, talking about the ring laser gyro in detail. And now I'm going to say go, and if you don't, the next words come out of your mouth isn't a detailed information of that demonstration, then you can concede. So,
yes, I don't need to concede because he actually just gave me the information that I need.
So now demonstrate it.
Yeah. Popenoodle, demonstrate it?
Yes.
Are you expecting me to have a ring laser gyroscope here with me? Is that what
I'm
this
not
is?
the one. It's not my claim. It's not my claim. It's yours. So now the burden of proof for you
so
to actually
let me ask you, why are you asking these questions? Because why are you asking any flat earther questions for, like, do you have a ring laser gyroscope? Maybe the mod?
It's
maybe the M100?
It's your claim, Laurent. Your claim.
Yes, and you claim that it's flat. Can you prove it? Do you have any kind of observations? No.
Yeah, that's a burden of proof. Laurent, shut your trap.
No, you make a claim for it being flat.
It's a burden
of proof as well.
I have to mute you. Because you're not going to shut up. All right, so I muted you, Laurent. It's a burden of proof reversal. You're now asking me. This whole exercise was for you to tell me your baseline knowledge of your information of how you know the Earth is a globe. The second question is on axial rotation. Now, you've taken it far into the weeds with all your back and forth. It's not a back and forth. It's just your baseline knowledge. And so if you don't have the information to support the claim that the Earth is spinning on its axis, like the way you think it is, and you're going into this demonstration without any knowledge, and now you're going to burden a proof reversal on me and tell me how I'm going to explain the flat Earth, that's not going to happen. So if you don't know how the Earth is spinning on its axis, Laurent, you're going to have to concede. Your ego will be ended here. It's going to die right here. So if you're not ready for that, then you're going to have to just leave the server or do something else, because we're waiting for you to concede that you don't know. And that's the only thing that we're going to have here. Either you don't know or go into detail and tell me exactly how that method was done. That's the only thing I'm going to excuse. Now go ahead.
Fair enough. I guess I'm going to have to concede that I don't know.
Thank you.
But that also leads us to you don't know either, because you cannot show anything either.
That's fine. I don't care. We're going to the next question.
Yes, you don't care because you don't care about what burden of proof you have.
Hey, chill, brother, chill. I want to sum up what you just said.
Let me ask you guys some questions.
Stop, friend.
Stop.
You haven't made it through 3 questions, and Mickey's going to ask you 3 questions.
I made it through 3 questions. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness!
That's only 2, bro. You're in for a treat,
dude. I know, dude. You can't even do math. You can't even do basic math between 2 and 3.
I conceded the point, so basically this concludes.
Fine. No, you didn't. Okay, fine. No, we don't, dude. This is not your show, brother. There are multiple people here. Okay, it's not about you, friend. It's about everyone. Okay, so for example, this is the time where I make pointed comments, right? And then I yield the floor after I'm done. That's how it works. So you said you're going to concede, but it also means we don't know. And that you can't prove anything in regards to the question. Now, we don't have to prove the Earth rotates because we don't claim it does. I yield the floor.
All right,
Let's
so
quickly
back
get to point 3. Go for it, Maggie.
What'd you say, Wolfgang?
Yeah, let's quickly get to point 3 before this goes off the rails.
Yeah,
Even
it's about
further.
to. We're reaching boiling point. All right, so let's
Yeah.
go. All right, Loran, I've unmuted you. We're going to point number 3.
Sure.
All right, the third point is you're gonna have to let me preface it before you begin, okay? So just relax. All right, have a seat.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, so the third point is the vacuum of space is adjacent to the pressure air that we breathe. So according to like the knowledge that we have here, we're breathing at about 14 psi, 14 pounds per square inch on the surface of Earth, right? That's just common knowledge. Everybody can understand that much. 14 psi on the surface, and as you start going up, there's a gradient pressure which gets less and less all the way until you get to past the exosphere where the Kármán line is into low Earth orbit, which then becomes a vastly differential of air pressure from the surface. So we're going to start to figure out that in this globe idea, we have an open system, meaning that matter and energy can exchange. Rockets can leave the system. Energy can transfer back and forth from the system. And we understand this is the way this operates as the idea that the Earth is a globe. So we have, in all intents and purposes, an open system, right? So with this open system, okay, here comes the question. How is it possible to have gas pressure without a container? I go into detail, but I just want you to think about that question if you have an answer for that.
Air is made of gases. Gases are particles, and like all matter particles, gases are also attracted by gravity.
Okay,
and
so
gravity holds the atmosphere in place, which means that we don't need a barrier between space and Earth.
Let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
All right, so gravity is the container, Loran?
It can act as one, yes.
Okay, now we're going to need the same thing as before, right? We're going to need a primary source for this, where we see this happening in nature, in the physical natural world. Where do we see gravity being a container? I need a citation of how it is a container, and also a demonstration of how gravity in the physical natural world contains gases, or it's acting like a container. So please go ahead.
I think it's interesting that you ask me to either give you plenty of things, like you expect me to give ridiculous amounts of shit, or just say I don't know. That's kind of, it's a nice game that you crafted.
It's not a game. This is being honest, sir.
Of course, it's a game.
Yeah, if you're not honest,
I can answer. I can answer though.
Oh, go ahead, answer.
I will entertain your game, and I will say I don't know.
Okay, all right. So let me go ahead and cap this 3 questions off with the summarization. The summarization is simply this: the Earth being a globe per drop over distance spinning in the vacuum of space is just a blind belief that you have. You don't know that it's a globe. You just blindly believe that it is.
See, not blindly. This is where the word games come in.
That is the summarization, because that's all you have. Is a blind it's a blind belief.
That's not all I have. You're lying now, sir.
Laurent,
I see your lies. I see your lies.
You have a blind belief, but that's fine. You can keep your blind belief.
So do you, and you have a blind belief that I have a blind belief.
We're not talking about us. We're talking about you. We're talking about you.
If you don't like it, then shut the fuck up and get the fuck out.
If you didn't have a blind belief, you would have been able to provide.
Calm down, Loran.
Hold on.
Free speech. And I'm gonna talk about him. And if you don't like it, then I don't know.
Laurent, chill. Listen, I won't
when I question
you, bro. It's okay. So, yes, but you would agree. You don't agree it's a blind belief, okay? But you would agree that it's a belief.
Yes.
Right? It's not something you've seen or experienced.
It's justified true belief, and it's something that I've also seen.
So you've seen the Earth as a globe?
Yes.
When have you seen the Earth as a globe?
It's like a summer or two ago. We went to this high vantage point, and I saw windmills. They were being obstructed by the curvature of the Earth. None of the perspective shit that you guys say, none of that matches reality. And none of that can be found on any MIT lectures, by the way, which is why I was asking.
You're not saying,
I know that's total bullshit. None of the MIT physicists are saying this. No MIT physicist says that, oh, the limited angle of you obstructs, blah, blah, blah. None of them say this. So you guys know that you were lying about that point.
Bro, no.
He's a bigot.
So,
that's the problem.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Real quick. I didn't say that they express it in the way in which we do.
Obviously, because it's complete bullshit.
Oh, fuck, dude.
So of course they're not gonna say it like
Dude. It's okay.
Dude.
Answer this. Okay, check this out.
Go ahead.
I said that they explain the nature of the physics of the light going through the aperture, the diffraction, the available angles, how you lose the visual information, how it appears to be linear and then it's hyperbolic. All of those things. So don't be coming in. Shut the fuck up, kid. Don't be coming in here. Yeah, good retort. I like it. That's actually the way you should retort, rather than crying. Most people, to your credit, when they're spoken to like that, cry like a whiny bitch. So good on you. Now, anyway, the point is, don't be accusing us of lying and then get the point wrong. All right.
So
continue.
you don't have any primary resources for your claim then? Is that it, AI?
Oh.
Because you said
what was my claim? No, dude.
You made a bunch of claims about how like the objects are disappearing from the bottom up because like perspective, limited angles. You don't have. Do you have any single observation? Do you have demonstrations?
Oh my God!
Do you have a primary source?
This has been done over and over and over.
No, it hasn't been done. Which is why I'm asking for your primary source.
It hasn't
been done. It hasn't been done.
That's why you keep on responding over everyone. Because when we say we have something, wherever the clusterfuck you came from, whatever we do have, you think we don't have because you're a bigot. Because you think you've had all the conversations there is to have on the subject and you've labeled us. You're a bigot. Why don't you just shut the fuck up and let the conversation happen so that you can get the information we have? Because you're making it basically impossible.
Very entertaining though. So earlier, Lunar guy. Sorry, I can't keep forgetting your name. But earlier, you agreed that we all experience the Earth to be flat and motionless. But now you're claiming that you saw the globe.
Yes. Most of the time, the Earth is flat. That's my stance. Most of the time, our phenomenological experience comports with flat Earth. It comports with the globe as well, but it comports.
That's a $10 word you probably don't know anything about.
When does it change?
I do know. Well, do you have primary sources for that claim? No. Then I guess it's a belief on your part.
You have a blind belief. You have a blind belief. So from here on in, it's all about your blind belief. You're going to be defending.
No, you have a blind belief as well.
Good luck.
So
good luck on you,
both
man.
of our blind beliefs.
No. Because remember, we experience the Earth directly.
No.
Flat and motionless.
You believe based on that experience. You believe it's flat.
You see, when you go to the beach, you see. Listen, let me just. When you go to the beach, you see the horizon, and it's a flat line. Yeah.
Pretty flat, Luran.
Sure. And then when you go to the beach and you see the flat horizon, you don't experience the Earth's ground to be moving, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
so we experience the Earth to be flat and motionless, right?
Sure.
That's what we experience. But then
do you have primary evidence of it?
Well, you just said it. You experience it.
Do you have primary evidence that this experience comports with reality accurately.
That's why it's called an experience.
It's a first-hand experience.
Yes, experience can lead you astray, can't it? Yes, it can. Do you have any primary evidence that this experience comports with larger reality?
We're not going to hear it if you keep talking over him, Luran. Shut your pie hole. Let him finish.
Yeah, and you're not going to hear me if I'm talking and then you start talking.
I can hear you.
So shut your pie holes.
Bro, chill. So, but this is the starting point, right? What you experience. But then you're coming along and saying it's not what you see, it's something different. So it's you that needs to prove that, right?
I don't think you get to play that game, though.
Well, you just get to make a claim that no one experiences, and you get to say it's true because you say so?
Sorry?
So
you might want to wait until I'm finished before you start talking, because I can't hear you when you start talking when I wasn't yet finished.
Well, why don't you listen to what I'm saying, right?
Well,
so
I was talking, so I can't listen to you when I'm talking.
No, I was talking first, and you were listening, but then you interrupted me before I finished. So the burden of proof does lie with you, because you're claiming the opposite of what you agree we all experience, which is a flat and motionless Earth. So you have the burden of proof. Right.
We don't necessarily experience flat and motionless. Like it's.
You just said we did.
Hey, you just said we did, Luran. You said we did.
I know that the language that I use is complicated, and
bullshit, dude. You said we did. You admitted it. You fucking liar.
By the way, I'm talking, so you guys can shut your fucking mouths, because I'm talking. I'm talking.
Man.
You're a fucking liar.
I'll just mute your ass, dude. Like, shut the fuck up.
You said that we experienced that, bro.
I don't know.
Wolfgang, this guy's just way off the dude. He's fucked, bro.
Exactly. This is
yes,
what we
you guys are fucked. You cannot stop over talking me. Can I defend my point?
Can I defend my point? You just said we experienced the flat and motionless Earth when we go to the beach, and now
can I defend my point?
He's going back.
Well, your contradiction.
Well, obviously not, because you guys have to steamroll, don't you? Because you're in a cult, you have to steamroll the conversation.
You're equivocating.
Explain the contradiction. Explain it.
Sorry, Wolfgang. You were kind of spiraling there, so I didn't listen to you.
Yeah.
I get to defend my point. Can I get to defend my point? Do I get to defend my point?
Well, you just asked me to clarify, right? You said...
Do I get to defend my point?
Then you said we don't. I said explain the contradiction. We experience it as flat and motionless, and then we don't. Explain that.
Do I get to defend my point?
Go for it.
What I said earlier was phenomenologically. I know it's a complicated word. It just means that from the basis of our naive understanding and our naive experience, this is what the Earth looks like. This doesn't have to be what the Earth is. And you're assuming this has to be what the Earth is. No, can you justify that belief? No, you cannot. So you're also in the realm of belief, Wolfgang.
No.
You have no way, but to accept that, or then you don't know enough about reality to understand what I'm talking about.
I didn't say this alone proves that it's flat and motionless.
Okay, so then give me your evidence. Give me your primary source. Give me your observations.
Because the claim
or concede the point and say that you don't know that it's that.
Bro, chill. So the burden of proof would lie with the side saying it's not what it looks like.
No, the burden of proof is on the side making the claim. You made the claim that it's flat, and you conceded good enough that you conceded that just seeing it, just observing it alone isn't enough.
No. We said we both experience it as flat. We both experience it as flat and motionless. That's what we agreed, right? And then you said, no, it's not that. It's not what we experienced.
On your side for your flat claim.
Well, you agreed. You experience it as flat.
Primary observations, sources, and observed measurements.
Yeah, you agreed. You go to the beach. Yeah, you agreed. You go to the beach. Yes. You see that it's flat and motionless. Yeah?
Yes, I concede that we have naive observations that comport with that. In order to verify that that's actually reality, You would have to have scientific measurements. Do you have those, Wolfgang? No, you do not. You cannot give that. Can you?
You
have to concede then that it's a belief on your part, right?
Oh my God,
it is a belief on your part, and you don't like it. But I don't ask you to like it.
No,
That's how it
look,
is.
friend, it's going to end right freaking now. You understand me?
Yes, of course it's going to end because I cannot put pressure on you guys. You won't like it.
Oh my God, dude! Can somebody who has access to a device that can mute and unmute people just control the flow of the conversation for a second?
Yeah, I'll do that. I was doing it before.
Rand, you got to learn to shut the fuck up, man, and listen to other people and stop over talking people.
Let me get on the button.
Period.
All right. Anyway, just do it without talking about it. It's fine.
So
all right,
here's
listen.
the thing. If he talks over,
here's the thing. I asked. Oh my goodness, dude! Just do it. Don't talk about it. Just do it.
He's going to be muted anytime he talks over someone.
All right, we understand. All right, listen. You keep asking for the evidence, right, for the flat Earth side. Yes. Now, we can provide for you our wiki. I don't know why he's speaking right now. I asked him for him to be muted, but anyway. I can't do it myself, so whatever. Fine. Check this out. We have a wiki with over 100 observations. We also have a laser test that demonstrates evidence for flat Earth. We have tons of evidence, okay? You can't just claim there's no evidence. Now, you could talk about those pieces of evidence. In order to actually rationally talk about them, you have to be able to compose yourself long enough to make it through like 2 sentences.
Yeah, don't be a lunatic.
Right? Hey, that was uncalled for. Okay, what we want to do, right, is present you that evidence. That's fine. Okay, but if you just want to constantly rhetorically just say, oh, you guys just believe and I just believe and constantly talk over people and never actually get the points, then you're just stalling. So let's go forward with point counterpoint, evidence, if that's what you want to do. If you just want to have like a talk fest where you just chant, we could do that too, but it's not going to be productive for anybody. So how do you want to go forward, friend?
Let me know. Okay, hold on a second. Let me unmute him. All right, you're unmuted, Lauren.
Whichever is fine with me, really.
Can we continue in a cordial fashion where we're not running over every sentence? Okay, good. How do you want to continue, AI?
Well, look, he already admitted that he does the 3 pieces of primary evidence he didn't know. And that's fine. He may have other pieces of evidence he wants to present. But he's now asking us for the validation of at least why we draw the conclusion we do. Now, it's absolutely disingenuous to provide him with nothing. You've all heard the arguments a million times about the laser test, about other types of observations. That we have demonstrations, we have all of them. Now, I don't have access to my computer right now. Speaking, that's all I can do. But I'm sure one of you are more than capable of taking that over, are you not?
Yes.
Yes. Come on, everybody should be saying yes.
Yes. You want go? You want to go ahead, Jedi?
Well, I've only just jumped in.
Yeah, sorry, I was just doing a couple of things, so I got a little bit busy. But basically, we were at the point where...
I'm not involved.
Oh. Can you hear me, Jedi?
I'm sure other people can take this, but if Lauren, you want a conversation about how we can demonstrate to you that the Earth is most definitely flat, I can do that for you, man. No problem.
Yeah, go ahead. So what is your primary evidence?
Primary evidence?
Yes.
Did you say?
Yes.
The way that we navigate across the Earth and have done for hundreds of years. Have you ever heard of navigating the Earth by the stars, celestial navigation? Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, I've heard of that. Do you have a source?
Yeah, it's called celestial navigation. I'll talk you through it if you want to. Then I can provide you with the information.
No, that's not. That's a field. I'm asking for a source.
Okay.
Let him finish making a statement first before you ask for a source. He's not even.
I'm just doing what Mayhem M100 was doing earlier. I'm asking questions.
Lauren, he wasn't even done with his statement. Let him finish his statement before you ask him for a source. You'll know when he's done, when he stops talking, okay?
Sure. Go ahead.
So, I'm going to be talking now.
You got out for me, sir. I can't hear you currently.
You'll have to go out and come back in, mate.
About celestial navigation.
Yes, you did cut up.
We can provide you with the information regarding celestial.
You're cutting out, Jedi.
Technical difficulty, no doubt, with the satellite coverage. I guess they don't cover the whole ground. Especially in wide open areas, no coverage there. Until they put a ground station. Sorry about the technical difficulty. Jedi is all the way across the Atlantic.
Also, I've got a link to celestial navigation in the live stream voice text so that you don't have to ask him for that. He's got it right there at hand, on hand.
And
okay, my friend, do you know what a triangle is?
There you go, Jedi.
Do you know what a triangle is, my friend? Or would you like a citation for a triangle too?
Yes, what is a triangle?
Okay, so a triangle is 3 straight lines that meet at 3 vertices where the interior angles reach 180 degrees. That's a triangle, do you agree?
Yep, that's the definition, yeah.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So within celestial navigation, what we do is we basically build a triangle between 3 points. You, the observer, the star in question, the ground position of the star, and then back to you. 3 straight lines. Now, in celestial navigation, what we do is we read elevation angles to stars, for example. Let's say Polaris, and Polaris is 45 degrees above the horizon. Now, we can use celestial navigation to navigate across the Earth because the stars appear at certain times of year at certain different areas. We understand this, yes?
Sure.
Awesome stuff. So my question, my friend, just to start with, is being as we understand that a triangle is 3 straight lines, meeting at 3 vertices where you can read 3 interior angles reaching 180 degrees. My question before we continue is, can you measure an angle within a triangle if one of those lines is curved?
My question actually is, where is your primary evidence? Where are your sources, and what's the test of measurement that you did? See, I think it's just fair because earlier I was being asked the questions. It's just fair that I'm asking the questions now, Jedi. That's just fair.
Good faith, Lauren.
Where is your primary evidence? What's the observation that you have done, and where are your sources?
That's probably because we didn't make any shape claim. You did. That's why that burden of proof was on you.
You guys claim that it's a flat Earth, so yes.
No, we didn't. We didn't claim that as a shape. That's a surface condition. You can't refute over water.
That's, by the way, just bullshit. I study English language and translation, so your garbage about flat is not a
You're full of shit.
That has nothing to do with English language.
The globe is a claim. The globe's a claim, and all we're saying is that claim's a lie. That's literally what this place is saying. Now, you're basically trying to say that we're making a claim, but we're not. No. I'm talking now. You're trying to basically reverse the burden of proof, and that is a logical fallacy. Your fallacious reasoning is exposing you as an idiot. You're welcome.
Whoever makes a claim in an argument has the burden of proof. If I claim it's a globe, I have the burden of proof for that. You say it's flat, you have the burden of proof for that. If you don't want to accept that, then you are throwing away well-known standards for how discussions like this should work.
So stop throwing away the standards, bro. Stop throwing away the standards. Know the game. Understand where the fuck you are.
I know the game. The game is you have the burden of proof for your flat earth claim.
So
if you don't want to accept that, that's
friend. I'm bored of you. Either be quiet and let me take control, or gonna start banning 3 people at random.
Yeah, so I go and fucking read it. You can, or you can listen to me.
Dude, Jedi, you're like oblivious to what's going on. It's like your audio is broken.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tempo's been changed to the flat earthers meeting his request of at least presenting a line of reasoning of why they come to the conclusion that the earth is flat in the positive case. That is fair. We don't need to retrograde to what we did earlier.
I got it.
Look, we have that. Look, we all have that. We know that. So that's the time. That's our time to shine.
I went to Coney Island the other day. From my location, I saw Jersey Shore on the other side. That means I had a direct line of sight, but judging by the altitude that I was at, which was 1 foot above sea level, there should have been an obstruction if the earth was a globe. So seeing as that's not the case, I literally just saw across the water, line of sight, distance of 6 miles, the end, no curvature involved, no shape claim. However, I did do this, and I also called, the guys here. You want my pictures?
Yeah, of course. What are you kidding? Of course.
I mean,
you got pictures? Show us the pictures.
They're telephone pictures. They're not really,
Yeah, but that's okay.
So
I just put up some of your other images. That was from
Did I screenshot the Google Earth? I did not, unfortunately. But I mean, if you'd like to wait, I can go back tomorrow or something.
Oh, whatever, man. I thought you had
that would be me doing it in real time. So I mean, it can't get much realer than that, dipshit.
That's true. Yeah.
So what? Do you think we're playing games here, or what?
Are you talking to me, Elijah? I was reading a text, so I was kind of paying half attention.
Fuck off.
Thank you.
He's quite
far, Elijah. So if you can bring it here, it's easy.
I was reading a text is not. Nah. I don't know. I'm done.
I've got all of the. I've got everything relevant to the conversation of the sextant in the live stream voice text. So if anybody wants to go ahead and go over this with him,
he's going to want us to have actually held a sextant in our hand and have taken a measurement at the very least. That's his. Seeing as that we asked him to provide a method and then demonstration. So best I can do is go to the beach for him tomorrow and do it in real time. That's the best I got.
I got you.
That's all I need. So.
Well, does he know? Do you know what an elevation angle is, Luran?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, this is triangle.
I guess it's what they use in celestial navigation, right?
And what a triangle is, Luran. Right?
Yeah, he's not refuting anything but an actual right triangle. So if he wishes to do so continually, then that's up to him. We'll keep letting everyone else hear it. It's hilarious.
I feel bad because Jedi, he's cutting out, and I want him to be able to, do his thing.
Watch, I'll wrap this up in 3 seconds. Okay, check this out. This is how it goes.
Thank you.
The baseline is flat because water is level and horizontal. Therefore, the earth is flat because 70% is water. Ergo, if 70% of the earth is flat, it can't possibly be a globe like they claim. The end. Bye.
Therefore, we could navigate across it with right triangles, and all the lines have to be straight lines. So, yeah.
Right. Let me conclude that with a second piece of corroborating evidence. So now we have a claim that the water's flat and level. How do we verify that? We use a laser transit methodology. We set up a storyboard. We set up the sending signal, and we measure the differential at the reception of the storyboard. We find that it nullifies the claim of the globe hump of Earth curve in between point A and B by 2 orders of magnitude. 2 orders of magnitude is a sufficient negation number. Therefore, the claim that the Earth is a globe with a big hump of Earth curve in between point A and B. In this sense, the sample size is 25 miles. It negates it. Therefore, the Earth can't possibly be a globe.
Yep. And that's testable, repeatable, observable, and falsifiable.
Right. So that's 2 positive assertions that carry the conclusion to a necessity if the premises that I laid out are true. So the only rebuttal is to attack the premises. So if he doesn't attack the premises, he concedes. It's that simple.
I was kind of busy in text chat, but
And by
of course you were.
He made claims, positive claims, and those are still rest on the table.
Yep. Yeah. So you weren't
provided. No information was provided as far as proof for any of those claims. So
exactly. You didn't pay attention to the case laid out. You provided no rebuttal. Premises stand as true, and my conclusion carries. I rest my case.
Can you do a quick 10 second, 30 second recap of what you just did?
I mean, you can go on YouTube and rewind it and listen, and then come back when you're done. Until then, put them on mute.
So your primary evidence then is YouTube, and your observation.
No, Luran. He said that you can go back to YouTube because this is live streamed to listen to what he said, so he doesn't have to repeat it.
He's done.
Yeah, until he addresses it, mute him on the platform indefinitely.
Yeah, dude, he wants us to cater to his 8-second attention.
Hold on, friend. If I have to do it if I have to do it myself, I'm just going to ban him indefinitely. At least if he's in detention or cognis, or sorry, not that, muted. He can be muted. That's all. Sorry. Ahead of myself.
Yeah.
He's going to address the points and not be distracted, or he's wasting everybody's time.
I mean, it's a tough love method because we're not saying he's not going to be allowed back, but not while we're here.
Oh, look, he's intellectually capable of going to do it, but the problem is he's emotionally capable. Those are the.
Gotcha. Back to sleep. Can you mute up your hot mic?
Sorry, excuse me.
Can I just get a quick microphone check?
Hear you loud and clear.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, bro. That was a good one, by the way. Overall, with all the spirals, it still was a good clip.
I was trying to get this in while that was going on, but of course it was way too busy, and I shouldn't have tried. But so since he's quieted now, he was in a category error because he's asking for a source, a citation, a source, and a demonstration, as we do with the positive geometric claims or any other kind of claims like that. Well, what Jedi was sharing is not a claim, it's an actual discussion of how things are actually done. It's a practical discussion as to the process of how celestial navigation is practically done in the real world. That's all all he was saying. There's no positive claim in there other than the positive claim of a right triangle having all 3 sides are straight lines and not equaling any more than 180 degrees, period. No sides can be curved. That's all Jedi was doing. And thank you, Jedi. You're very good at that.
Well, that's why I was taken into the burden of proof earlier, which is where the spiral really began.
Yeah, because if the premise is that the Earth is a globe and it turns, then finding indirect evidence of using a ring laser gyro is like, well, first of all, that was just begging the question that the Earth is a sphere. Well, then again, how do you detect Yeah, it was begging the question.
It's only begging the question of rotation. The sphere is ancillary. It's coordinated, but it's not necessary for the. So, for example, an object can be any shape and spinning. Correct.
Right. Correct.
Right, there you go.
Correct. I have been corrected. So there's that. But when it comes to the method of navigation, there's no assumption at the point of measurement. You're just taking a measurement and the reason that you can take the measurement is because the Earth is horizontal. And that's it. I mean, where am I begging the question then?
To be fair, that's how I build. I mean, I built this thing I'm standing on right now, and I just operated with level, right, horizontal, and vertical plumb. That's how I operated. And if I went somewhere else, I'd operate the same way. I came over to your house to do something. I wouldn't say my level and my plumb are different now. Just like, what? You know, so I need to come over. You need to make me dinner. I need to sleep in your house for 3 days to acclimate to your plumb before I can function. I mean, get real. Okay.
On a lighter
friends,
note,
it's been greater than 30 seconds to 60 seconds. The clip was less than 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Oh, so this man had ample time to just go to YouTube, rewind it, and listen to it.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's formulating a rebuttal.
Well, I wouldn't count on it.
He's in live stream voice text right now. I think he is ready, or I think that he already went back and listened. But he's now server muted and server deafened.
Deafened? Why would he be deafened? That's, well, whatever.
I don't know who did that, but anyway.
Maybe we should ask him. Maybe we should ask him if he's ready to rebut the points.
But look, he's spamming in the live stream though. So why don't we?
But now, keep in mind, his only hope is a validated measurement.
Yep. So
and then a secondary, Hail Mary would be to claim refraction, and then he has to prove the refraction he claims exists in the real world, which he cannot do. He cannot do that.
No.
So good luck to him.
Well, I think he shouldn't be allowed to verbally tell us that anymore because he's been shown that he can't control himself.
Well, he's a bigot. That's the problem. Like, you can't really. How you gonna? He's already arguing against. Yeah,
he was given. Listen, he was given the terms. The terms were he would be muted until he was ready to address the points that I said after he listened to him. So if he does listen and he wants to address them, then to be fair, we have to unmute him. Then if he goes off the rails, then we can censure him as needed.
Well, he's undeafened now. If somebody wants to take over.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that he couldn't participate. I was just saying he's a bigot. That's why we're having all this trouble. Because he came in here, he's like, this is a flat earth server, therefore, let me argue against the things that I know you guys claim.
Is he going to be unmuted or not? Because I keep seeing him being unmuted and then server muted. So what's the plan, guys? Awesome stuff. Lauren, you got control of your microphone again, my friend. Just letting you know.
Thank you.
Just
No
unmute
problem.
that guy. Who cares? This roast us.
No, I don't know. AI, did you want to continue your conversation with him?
No, there's nothing to continue. This is his opportunity to rebut my points or my premises.
Yes.
We all know he's not going to go back into the live stream and listen like he's.
Well, let's give him the opportunity because he has been muted and deafened for the last 2 minutes, and maybe he can surprise us.
Yeah,
So, Lauren,
don't divine his thoughts.
Chance, but,
I mean, I'd put 50 quid on what you just said as well, mate, but I mean, I agree
How much
with
is
you.
50 quid?
Fucking hell, I don't know, about $70.
No bets on the live stream, friends.
But Lauren, would you like
If you
to
want to
address?
bet, if you want to bet, you can bet all you want in the back chats.
No problem.
I can't address it properly. I did go back to the live to the YouTube stream, and I did kind of try to quickly get a rough grasp of what was going on. But because I'm having to multitask and listen to the YouTube stream at 2 times the speed, and then listen to and follow back to. Okay, when are you guys going to allow me off mute, and when are you going to ask me questions? I'm just gonna admit humbly that I can't address the question.
No problem. Would you mind if I asked you what the angle was again?
Well, but what's the question that you're not addressing again? Can you give us the question?
My positive assertions that I did in a blurb of less than 30 seconds about the horizon level being a flat baseline for angles, and then corroborating that by using a laser methodology to measure whether that claim was true as a secondary piece corroborating the first claim. So in other words, the flat baseline for angles and the laser test to verify whether or not that claim was true.
Yeah, there you go.
Regarding your argument to celestial navigation, I can at this current point neither confirm or deny it. See, here's where I stand currently. I have your view, and then I have other sources, for example, this Metapunk site, that says something else. But in order to fact check what you said, it's gonna take me a longer amount of time. So I'm not going to present myself as being able to address the question.
Wait, okay, so let me ask you a quick question. I'm not as satisfied with that. So here's the question: do you contend with the angles being made being a right angle triangle formed by you, the observer, the ground position of the star and the star directly above being 90 degrees from the ground position? Do you disagree with any of that?
I'm not sure if the angle to the ground, like away from you, necessarily has to be 90 degrees.
Has to what? Has to what?
I'm not sure if the angle has to necessarily be 90 degrees.
That's what a GP is.
Yeah, I mean, and there are also citations.
That's what you say it is, yes.
Oh,
well,
okay.
There are citations in the chat as well.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, sure. Have you read them? Have you looked at them? Because we've provided them for you.
Yes, I grant you that they are in the chat. Have I seen them in the chat? I've seen them in the chat, so that's why I can say, yes, sure, they are in the chat. If you don't want me to say that they are in the chat, I've seen them, then I don't know what kind of story I'm in.
Lauren, we're going to ask you this simple question. First one, do you know what a triangle is? Would you agree it's 3 straight lines meeting at 3 vertices where you can read the interior angles matching to 180 degrees? Would you agree that is a good definition of a fucking triangle, mate?
Now you're just being an asshole, like you're trying to get an gotcha. Why do you guys have to be like this? Can't this be like a normal conversation?
Hold on. I'm just asking you what a triangle is, and then defining
you're trying to get a gotcha. I can see right through you, Jedi.
Can you?
Hold on. Why is this question justified? You said you don't necessarily know about the 90-degree thing, and he's trying to help you out. So what's the
no, he's not. He's not trying to help me get a gotcha on this clover so that you guys can either get a gotcha on me or you can boot me.
Lauren, first of all,
so I don't agree that this is a good faith conversation, basically.
There you go. Lauren, first of all, I asked you what a triangle was, and then I gave you a definition to agree with. That's all I did, mate.
Yeah, but I've been in this conversation for 5 years, and I've seen what Nathan Oakley do, and you're doing the same kind of rhetorical tricks. So sorry, mate. I see
If something is wrong with what Nathan says, then it would be exposed right now if he's going to be a copycat. You don't need to do that.
There is a plenty. There is plenty wrong.
You don't need to do that, right? This isn't. He's not Nathan Oakley, is he? That's what bigots do.
He's talking in a similar manner, man.
That makes you a bigot. You don't understand?
No, it doesn't make you. It doesn't make me a bigot. It makes
it does.
Strange place where normal conversations can't happen because this is
you're like, well, I don't like.
Lauren, shut the fuck up and let him finish talking.
It's quite easy. Just mute the cunt.
I can't hear what you're saying, Elijah. He keeps talking over you. What the fuck?
I'm just having a normal conversation. If you guys
well, if Nathan is not here, but you're bringing up Nathan when Nathan has nothing to do with this conversation or celestial navigation, I don't understand why you would bring him up. All Jedi asked you was if you knew what a triangle was and the interior angles and what they come out to, because it's pertinent to the discussion.
Go ahead.
So, would you agree with my definition of a triangle?
Sure, for the time being, yes.
Awesome stuff. So my next question is, if you curve one of those lines, can you measure angles within a triangle?
I don't think we need to curve the lines.
Okay, but my question is, if I curve those lines, or one of those lines, and I was to use a angle measuring device, would I be able to measure an angle with the angle measuring device if one of those lines within the triangle was curved? That's all I'm asking you, mate.
Yes, I think you would.
So you think, do you know what a protractor is? Before we continue, do you know what a protractor is? You find them in your stationary sets at school that come along with the two triangles. The half circle.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm non-native, so some of these terms escape me, but I have a rough idea.
Yeah, so it's an angle measuring device we use at school to measure the angles with inside triangles, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So if I bend one of those lines within the triangle, can I place my protractor down and measure an angle?
Yes.
How?
How? You place it down and you measure the angle. That's how, Jedi.
Hold
on. Do you not know this?
Hold on. One of the lines is curved. Let me give you an example. Now, you're going to try and give me 90 degrees, but your baseline is curved. So put the protractor down and see if you can tell me whether that curved line is reaching 90 degrees. How'd you do that, Lauren?
It's quite simple. Let's say we have a curved surface. You put it and you like make it a tangent. Like a tangent is a line that just touches at one point.
Okay.
So you do that with the protractor.
I haven't drawn any other lines. I've just given you two, and I'm asking the question: if one of those two lines is curved, can I measure an angle? I'm not drawing tangent lines yet.
Yes, you can.
How?
By putting the protractor in there and seeing what it says. It's not hard.
But one of the lines is curved.
Yes, we said that. It's not hard.
Yeah. So how do I measure the angle if one of the lines is curved on a 90-degree triangle? Do you see the image in the live stream voice text? Hold on, Lauren.
I can answer you. Jedi.
Yeah, good. I'll tell you what. Let me finish. So
Yes,
do you see the image of the protractor and the triangle, 2021 year of the sextant? You see that, right? Now, if that baseline is curved, where the 90 degree is on the horizontal, if that line is curved, how can you measure 90 degrees? I can't believe we're arguing about a fucking triangle, mate.
Yes, you guys ask the silliest questions.
Yeah, to kind of to elucidate your fucking stupidity. I'm asking you literally a grade school question. It usually comes on question number 6 or 8 in your geometry test. Look, this line is curved. Put your protractor down it. Can you measure an angle? No.
So why are you asking me? Why are you asking me about the curved triangle? Because I was already saying in the beginning that it's a strange question, but you said, well, let me go ahead anyway. So why are you trying to ask me a stupid question?
Well, Jedi, can I say something right here? Really quick?
Yes.
Okay. So you said it's a strange question, and I said it was pertinent. Now, I actually told you why it was pertinent before the question was asked. So I'm going to go ahead and cite. I'm just going to go ahead and read this. This is basically what I told you earlier, but I don't know if you heard me. Figure 2. Mind you, this isn't flat earth stuff, right? This is just from some workbook. I'm saying something right now. Hold on. The angle measured with the sextant is in reality one corner of a right triangle formed by you, the celestial body, in its geographical position on Earth. Meaning, if the ground were curved, that wouldn't be true. So it's not a weird question. It's actually related.
That actually would be true on a curved ground as well. You can see the picture that it's curved right there, right?
Now, do you read 90 degrees if one of the lines is curved? How do you read 90 degrees if one of the lines is curved?
I can explain this to you, Jedi. Can you look at the picture that Elijah posted at 1:29 my time, 29 past the hour? Can you see that picture, Jedi?
Staring right fucking at it.
Yes. I have some questions relating to your picture to verify that you understand and you can follow along. Now, there is a triangle in the picture, right? Can you see the triangle?
Yes.
Yes. Can you see the ship?
Yes.
Can you see the ground curving?
Yes.
Now, is the ground the same thing as the triangle?
In this instance, no.
Which one is curving? Is the triangle curving or is the ground curving?
Neither.
Not a hill of water.
The ground is curving. Your line, Jedi. The triangle isn't curving.
Hold on.
That's the correct answer. You can't even give a correct answers to this simple picture.
Lauren, do you see? You're a fucking cunt. Do you see the image where do you see the GP image? Do you see the square? Do you see the little square that always denotes 90 degrees? Do you see that square?
Yes.
Awesome. Can you have a square if one of those lines is curved? Can you measure 90 degrees if you've got a curved line within your triangle? When you put your protractor down on it and the line is curved, you're going to be able to draw that square.
Again, why are you asking a silly picture? You're arguing against a strawman, Jedi. Your claim, you seem to be thinking. Hold on, I'm speaking. You seem to be thinking that globe earthers say that the triangle is curved. No one says the triangle is curved, you moron. We say the Earth is curved. So you're arguing, you're running away from arguing arguing about the Earth because you cannot argue about that because you're a coward. Instead, you have to argue about that no one is making that the triangle is curved. No one is making that point, Jedi. So you're a moron and you're arguing a stupid point.
Yes, you are making that point. What about your?
No one says the triangle curved.
Yeah, see, this is the problem, my friend. You can't measure angles if one of those lines is curved, can you?
Yes, and no one says it's curved. The Earth is curved. The triangle is not, Jedi. Can you follow along? In this picture, is the triangle curved, Jedi? In this picture, is the triangle curved? Yes or no?
If I was to remove the dotted line between the GP...
Yes or no? Yes or no, sir. In this picture, is it curved? Thank you. So in this globe, in our globe model, this is how it works. When you have questions to me about this again, Jedi, just take a look at that picture. You can educate yourself using that picture, Jedi. I don't need to be educating you. You can.
Right, I've had enough of this fucking cunt, to be honest with you guys. He's tried to build straw man after straw man after straw man, and I'm just trying to ask him one simple question. You see that fucking box on the fucking picture, my friend, that always denotes 90 degrees? The bottom line would be curved if the surface of the Earth was curved, wouldn't it now? Now, the GP can be in excess of the horizon up to 3,000 miles, but the GP has a 90-degree ground position straight line to the boat. If the surface of the Earth was curved, you see your fucking picture there, sunshine, you would not be able to measure 90 degrees on the ground position of the star, and you would not be able to read an elevation angle up to the star because the line between the GP and the boat would be curved if the Earth was curved. You fucking retard. Now, I ain't gonna fucking unmute you. Hold on. I ain't gonna fucking unmute you because of your language and your abhorrent behaviour. How dare you fucking speak to me like that? I'm just trying to point out what a fucking triangle is, and you're acting like a religious zealot who's just been fucked. Now, piss off.
How dare you even talk to me?
Was that soundboard quote?
Was that QE?
Who was that? That was sick.
The soundboard.
Listen, I'll post an image in the live text or whatever. Let's see him refute this one. It's very simple. Where's the live stream voice text? Okay.
By the way, that picture.
Great job, everybody in the panel. There you go.
That picture that he's referring to that Elijah posted, that wouldn't be a GP. That's not correct. That's not equidistant to the center. So even in his example, it wouldn't be a GP, and it wouldn't be 90.
I wouldn't actually doubt that.
No, piss off.
That looks like
no one's interested in listening to you anymore. Fuck off.
Hey, Laura,
you can shut your fucking mouth because I was talking.
Yeah, no, you're not anymore.
Yeah, you're not gonna go into somebody's living room and tell them to shut up. This is our living room, dude.
Is that guy?
I do have one question for him to get one final spiral, if that's okay.
Yeah, please. But he addresses me, I meet him straight away.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay. I'm just going to post a picture you've seen already once again, and I'll see if you can answer some questions about it. All right. You see the picture with the oil rigs?
Yes.
Got a 10-mile horizon in it.
Yeah, it's like the same shit I just posted.
Yes.
Okay. Any evidence that the 10-mile horizon is at 1.2 miles?
Sorry?
Any evidence that that 10-mile horizon is actually in reality at 1.2? You know, where it would have to be on the globe.
It wouldn't have to be there on a globe.
Oh, really? Why not?
Why not?
Isn't that a necessary consequence of geometry? Why not?
You can't. There is no answer.
Yeah, hold on, guy.
There is actually an answer. I can answer.
Yeah, what's the
So
answer? Why not?
Yes, I can answer. Why not?
Okay.
We are observing. What we have here is a picture taken through the atmosphere, right?
Okay.
Isn't that true, heretic?
Yeah. So are you saying that the 10-mile horizon is actually at 1.2, but distorted through the atmosphere to appear at 10? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just asking, is this a picture through the atmosphere?
Of course,
to get us started on the conversation.
Yes, of course, we're looking through air.
Yes, thank you. So the modus tollens that we have here is that the horizon must be at a certain distance. Now that's actually the horizon. Theoretically, when we're not looking through the atmosphere, that's what's given as the comparison point.
Okay.
But then when you are comparing against in this,
right?
hold on, I'm making my case here. Can I make my case?
You're going on too long. I just have a simple question, right? Geometry of the globe states that horizon must be at 1.2 miles. You're invoking the atmosphere, I guess, to argue that it's distorting the appearance of that geometric horizon so that it occurs at 10 miles instead of 1.2. So back to the very first question I asked you. Any evidence it's actually at 1.2?
Geometry doesn't say it should be at 1.2 because geometry doesn't talk about the...
Okay, because the geometric horizon formula that I have for a globe with a radius of 3959 miles is 1.2 miles times the square root of the observer height in feet. Is that incorrect?
Yes, that's the geometric horizon, but what we have in the picture is refracted horizon, so you...
Got it. All right, so we got a geometric horizon at 1.2 miles, but it's refracted to appear at 10. So back to the first question. Any evidence it's actually at 1.2?
So you're not comparing like with like. That's the fallacy.
That's
Ask
stupid.
the question again.
Yeah, so we got a geometric horizon, according to you, at 1.2 miles appearing at 10. Any evidence it's actually at 1.2?
You're not lying about what I said. Why are you doing this? You're being this.
You agreed with the geometric horizon formula already. You said, yeah, 1.2 miles, yeah. So what you're saying is it's geometrically at 1.2, but refracted to appear at 10. Any evidence it's at 1.2?
Why are you asking me for evidence for something that the globe model doesn't say?
To expose that you have none for the globe claim. That's why. Let's do it again. Any evidence that the 10-mile horizon is at 1.2?
That's not the globe claim, so you lie about the globe claim.
You said it was. You said that the geometric horizon formula is 1.2 miles times square root of observer height in feet, so it's 1.2 miles in that picture, geometrically speaking, according to you, refracted to appear at 10. Any evidence
But it doesn't say the refracted horizon should be at that point, you liar. It doesn't say that the refracted...
Any evidence that that's a refracted 1.2 mile geometric horizon is the question.
Yes, because it's through the atmosphere, the observation.
So just because there's atmosphere there, you know that the 10-mile horizon is actually at 1.2? I don't get it.
Yes, you don't get it. That's right. You don't get it because you're a moron.
Okay, so I'm a moron.
Guys are each other not. Maybe I can help you guys out.
Thanks. Yeah, go ahead.
So it sounds like you're saying that the horizon can be refracted. Now, how do you know?
And I'm saying more.
Hold on, dude. Yes. I'm speaking, dude.
Yes, and you asked.
I didn't ask any questions, dude. I made a statement. Goodness sakes, dude. It's painful dealing with you sometimes. But anyway, it's fun. So check this out. Where's the evidence in the first instance that the horizon is refracted? Go ahead.
We do have evidence of that, actually. I think Mr. Sensible has that, for example. Also, we have scientists who can back that up and who have backed that up. Do I have it right now? No. If you give me time, I can find it.
Yep, sure. So the correct answer is you see that the horizon isn't in the location that the geometry of the globe claims. You then claim ancillary to that to prove or to save your initial claim that it's refracted. You actually have no evidence that the horizon exists in a geometric sense, and therefore have no evidence that what you're seeing is refracted, because the first instance proof of the horizon itself being geometric has not yet been instantiated. So it's a big begging the question circle jerk, friend.
It actually isn't. I think actually what's
perfect. In order for it not to be, hold on.
I was talking, so can I finish or not? Apparently not, because of course there's no free speech here. Now, I think.
Dude, hold on, friend. You don't ever bring up free speech again. This is a curated platform. There is no expectation of free speech here. Thank you. All right, continue.
Yes, I fully understand that you have to dominate the conversation because you would lose up.
What? Yeah, we would ruin the order in the room if we let you do that, so we can't let you do that.
Yeah, sure. That's why. Listen, friends. Let's hold on a second.
Yeah, who?
Yeah, before you
getting sick of this guy now.
Loran.
Luran.
Before we go on.
Oh, the cock in the live text.
There's no talking to this fucking guy, honestly.
Yeah, but before we go on, let's just set the standards here, since he accused us. Not, in the past conversation, I rebuked the flat earthers, right, for certain ways in which they dealt with you and distracted from the things you were trying to achieve. It's essentially advocating for you. So your characterization that this is somehow a steamroll against you is false.
No one talking.
It's true. If the guy said something that made sense to me, I'd back him. But
I just wanted to get in. What I find really interesting about these guys is that they have to turn every single thing that happens into an attack, like every single thing. So, for instance, when he spews a bunch of bullshit and then someone mutes him, he goes, "Oh, if you did not mute me, then you would lose." No, bro, you're getting muted because you're talking shite over other people. That's why you're getting muted.
yeah, that's what they all do. They're professional victims.
You don't realize, Crypto, my behavior is your fault.
It's your fault he doesn't have any globe proof. You just have to let him spurg all over the chat.
Oh my god.
I want to know how a theoretical construct can be refracted.
Well, that was the thing I wanted to get. Is he able to talk, this live stream?
No, he's certainly.
You do know we're looking through the atmosphere.
Can I talk to him for a little bit? Can someone unmute him and I'll talk to him for a little bit?
You can try, but he addresses me and you'll get kicked off.
You do know we are looking through the atmosphere, guys, right?
Yeah, go ahead, Crypto. You should be able to get through.
My god.
I don't think I'll be able to get through, but maybe you can hear me. But two different things. Is he unmuted now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my European friend. So you were asked a question with regards to the geometrical horizon, correct?
Yes.
So the initial question was, how do you know it's there in the first place, and that what you're seeing isn't just an optical effect?
Yep.
Can you provide that?
How do I know that the physical? Well, sort of. It's based on the geometric horizon is a theoretical concept based on the the globe model.
So it's a theoretical. Okay, that's all I needed to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, it's actually interesting to me if I can address the.
You just admitted that it's not real. You just said it's theoretical.
That's not the case.
So it is real.
I can maybe clarify.
Could you?
So, theories are what science uses to describe the world. There are theories that are false, and there are theories that are true and that have evidence for them.
Oh, you don't know.
You can claim Jedi that the globe model has no limits. That's fine, but you cannot just say, since you said that it's theoretical, you admitted that it's not true. That's just word games, Jedi.
No, I asked you. Sorry, Crypto. I asked you. Don't put it back on me. I literally just asked you. You said it's theoretical, so not real. Then ? Sorry, Crypto.
And he said, "Nuh-uh, science." So okay, so the geometric horizon is a scientific theory, is it?
Yes.
No, it's not.
What experiment did you come up with to test the hypothesis of the geometrical horizon?
I don't, since it's the claim that the scientific community makes. I don't have to come up with experiments. The scientific community does. So you are gonna have to go to the scientific community and ask them.
So
have you done that now? Have you done that already, Crypto?
My friend, I'm sorry.
If not, then why not? Why haven't you gone to the scientific community?
You're going to talk over my response. You're not going to hear it, are you?
That's right. I've just pressed the mute another motherfucker button on your behalf, Crypto. He's muted.
Oh, thank you very much. So obviously he was just talking over my response in order to rile me up and get me to not respond properly. But of course, if this hasn't been through an experiment, it isn't a scientific theory, which means that it is a colloquial theory, as correctly identified by Jedi. So we're talking about a colloquial theoretical concept that he is invoking into reality, otherwise known as a reification fallacy. Thank you very much.
That is some nice words out there, sir.
No, it's actually true. So you were using. Let me respond to you. Maybe you can be educated. You used the colloquial term for theory, right? The colloquial term. Okay, a scientific theory comes after a scientific hypothesis test has been completed, where you can demonstrate something to be true. Once you have demonstrated something to be true, you can then build your scientific theory upon it. Now, my question to you, my friend, is there a scientific experiment that proves the shape of an object, the Earth?
My question to you is, since you claim that it's just a cone.
No, so you're going to answer my question, and if you don't, I will mute you.
Yeah, but to be fair, you don't need to caveat it with the Earth. It's sufficient to say, is there a scientific experiment that validates shapes?
I know, and I used to do that. I've just added the Earth on.
Flat Earth, hold on. Flat Earth isn't a shape, is it?
No.
He's referring to your claim. He's referring to your claim that you made that there's a scientific theory about the horizon in regards to it being a globe. So stop diverting. Listen, go. Hey, listen, friend. Take a break and breathe. Then go take your ADHD medicine, and then come back.
So two things that I would like to bring up. Him saying it's theoretical, but then saying that it's kind of not. So right here from Washington, when we stand Washington State, when we stand on the shore with our feet just at sea level and look out to sea, we may ask, just how far away is the horizon? We start by making the simplifying assumption that the Earth is a sphere with the radius r. Then the line from our eye to the horizon is tangent to a circle. So saying that there is no line of sight because the light that comes into our eyes are refracted or bent completely nullifies the claim of this assumption right here. Now, further to that, when you go to science.howstuffworks, fact, how far away is the horizon? The horizon is the midway point between the earth and sky. It's where these two parts seem to meet. How far can you see on the horizon? If you're looking at the horizon from the ground, the horizon is approximately 5 kilometers from you. How far away is the horizon in miles? The furthest distance to the horizon that the human eye can see varies slightly depending on, this is important, depending on a person's height. In miles, the horizon is approximately 3.1 miles away. I don't see refraction anywhere in here, but even if you were to invoke refraction, it completely nullifies the claim of having a tangent to a circle, which isn't a sphere, by the way, but
You're saying, just to recap, you're saying that refraction nullifies?
Yes.
yeah, the assumption that there's a tangent from your eyeball to the circle.
You just moved your horizon.
Wouldn't there, like, straight lines exist no matter what, even if light gets refracted?
Well, the thing is, if you're going to say, well, what we experience is the opposite of what the claim is, where's then what
I don't think that's the claim.
Well, see, I just read it out to you clearly.
Yeah, that's a simplified but
thing. Here's the thing. Yeah. With this simplification, the premise is that you have a straight line of sight to the circle. So if you complicate that, why would that axiom change?
Because it gets more complicated. Actually, you just hit the nail on the head. Like, theoretically, if we take away the atmosphere, it should work like this. Yeah.
No,
but in reality, we have atmosphere, we have stuff like that. That makes it more complicated.
That's not what this is saying. I mean, for instance,
yes, but this
is just geometry. So we're talking about a line of sight, like my line of sight from the shore of Coney Island to Jersey. That was a straight line of sight observation that I made. There's nothing in between. I can see the shore. The horizon is much, much further than 6 miles, by the way.
Technically speaking, I would maybe have to contend with that because
with what? How are you going to justify
I think we both agree that refraction happens. So
no, I'm not sure if I would like for you to explain, because, like, for instance, if I have, say, for instance, my building, I'm coming into town and my building is a mile away, and then there's a hospital behind it. There's never going to be any kind of atmospheric interference that's going to allow me to see my building behind the hospital.
That's your belief, yes. What do you base that belief on?
Is that a belief?
Yes, it is a belief.
How is that a belief?
Because you believe it. That's how.
No, I mean, when I when I take distance observations, or when I see that my building is where it is, that's not a belief. The only belief is that somehow the atmosphere could make it appear as if my building could be behind what is geometrically there, being the hospital. Now that's your belief.
Okay.
Your belief is that that's possible. I don't have a belief
No, that's
that
not.
that's not
I don't think the
possible.
case is comparable to.
No,
It
it's
depends on
very
where.
comparable, because guess
No,
what?
it's not. It's not really
If I have a
comparable.
straight distance to my building,
Where
it's
is
just
the?
a straight. Excuse me. If I have a straight
Yeah, go
distance to
ahead.
my building, then it's just a straight distance. Now, coincidentally, the globe being, well, it being geometrically a globe, then I have a straight distance to the cutoff point, which they claim is the geometric horizon. So now here again, as I posted initially, this is talking about that distance to the tangent point being a point on the globe. Now, we don't have evidence of that, and you're trying to justify why that's the case with refraction. What's refraction? And not only do I want you to tell me what it is, I need you to provide a citation that supports what you tell me.
The citations may be a bit, but
Why? I mean, I have Andrew Thomas Young right here, because everybody.
Oh yeah, Andrew Thomas Young.
Laugh my ass off. You did great. And he's all patting himself on the back. Of course I did. I did great.
Stop the cap.
Oh, shit.
It's so crazy. He lost his mind for a long time.
Yeah. Hope it was worth it.
Oh my god, you actually are crying.
I'm not crying! Not!
Honestly, now I just feel bad. Usually I just blow up whatever's in my way, but with you, I've gotten kind of attached. It's sort of like putting down old Space Yella.
How is that a thing?
I'm bleeding, making me the victor.
That's a good movie, too. Funny.
I must apologize for Wimp Low. He is an idiot. We have purposely trained him wrong, as a joke.
And now Lawrence compliments me. Nice. My kung fu is powerful, isn't it? Look what he put. He likes my kung fu. But his script is nicely made.
Structure has received serious damage. How are you?
Dude, you literally just described that clip. He beat him upside the head so bad he forgot and rebooted to "How are you?" That's wild.
He has the audacity to say that he had to educate me on what a curve is and what it's not.
Yeah, the audacity to fucking talk, mate.
Well, you could, if you could put a word in edgewise, shit, you couldn't even finish what you were saying.
That's right. I found the mute another motherfucking button. Really, really useful this evening. I haven't used it so much for such a long time. I must have pressed it about 20 times, man. Fucking hell.
Felt kind of good.
You're watching 24/7 Flat Earth Discord live.
Tags! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.